North Ipswich Reserve. We're with you for a fantastic round 10 clash between the Central Queensland Capras and the Luxury Paints Ipswich Jets. Great to have you with us on Phoenix Radio, phoenix.com.au. Smith somehow right down the eastern touchline, 12-4 the score. Well, the first attacking opportunity the Capras had.
Hello and welcome to the special edition of After the 80, where we bring you all the up-to-date local NRL news. I'm your host, Ben Wilmott, and with me on the panel today is my co-host, Anthony Bomber Breeze. How you doing today, Bomber?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Lost last night, but I'll get over it and move on to game 2.
Yep. Oh, don't worry, we'll be touching on that a fair bit today. And also joining us on the panel today, we have the Division 5 Councillor for the City of Ipswich, Councillor Wayne Wendt.
Hi, Ben.
Thanks for coming on board, Wayne.
Thank you.
And obviously as the ex-CEO of the Ipswich Jets as well, so it's great to have you on board. Now, let's get into it. What a weekend of rugby it's been. On the program today, we'll review the weekend that was in the representative rounds of the QRL and the IRL. We look at Game 1 of State of Origin last night, and we'll preview our QRL and IRL games for this coming weekend. Now, first up, let's take a look at the weekend that was in the QRL, with the Ipswich Jets finally getting a win at home against the PNG Hunters, a team that they weren't really expected to beat this week.
No, obviously PNG came over here. I would expect, thinking a victory against the Jets was probably more of a formality on form there, but the old Jets turned up, which obviously will hopefully be the Jets for the rest of the year there, and they can start their march back towards higher on the ladder.
Well, let's hope so. And Wayne, was it good for you to see the Jets getting back on top?
It was a great pleasure. In fact, it's been too long, and I know the boys, particularly Ben and Shane and all of the support staff, have been looking for that type of performance for a long time. PNG, as Bomber pointed out, PNG would have expected to win, and on form, that's what you would have thought, but the old Jets came out and in front of a big crowd on Harmony Day, of course. Yep. They were successful, so it was a great result for Ipswich.
It was the perfect time to shine, wasn't it? Under the cameras of Channel 9 and in front of a huge crowd in front for the Harmony Day, as you said.
Yes, it has been said that they do their best performances on Channel 9, so...
we should probably get a few more televised games then.
Well, yeah, that was the second for the year, so it's not too bad. Ipswich does quite well on those performances, so... and the crowds turn up. It's one of those things as an administrator, you've got to work out whether your crowd's going to stay home and watch it on TV or actually turn up to the ground. So, but with Harmony Day and all those activities going on, went really well.
Well, they definitely turned out on the weekend. We've got a bit of a highlights package from this weekend's game as well, where the Jets really found their form again, which was great to see. Lots of strong running from Carlin Anderson as well was a bit of a highlight.
Yeah. Carlin, he was probably down on a bit of form early in the season there, but the last couple of games there, he's really picked up, and I'm sure he's in for a good back end of the season. So.
And a couple of PNG players in the Jets as well, with the brothers in Sebastian and Richard Pandya. It was must have been a special win for them as well. Oh,
it would have been. Sebastian's only come to the Jets this year, and he came here specifically to follow his brother Richie, who's obviously been very good. My recollection is that Richie would have started in the senior side only 12 months ago or 15 months ago, so he's made every post to win, and he's only a very young man. And Sebastian, again, is quite young as well. And to make it special for them, of course, their mother flew down to watch the game as well.
Yeah,
so
it was a bit of a surprise for them.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
It was good, and they love playing against their fellow PNG boys, so great result for all.
Well, they've been in great form so far, the Hunters, and as you said, they would have been expecting to come out and get the win against a bit of a struggling side in the Jets this year, but the Jets really turned it on, and it was this great passing, getting it out to the win, and there's Pandya getting a try against his own countryman, which was his first of 2 for the day as well.
Yeah, no, that was probably Richard's best game. Like you said, they like playing against their home country there, and they really stepped up, as did a lot of the other players there. It wasn't just a one-man performance or anything. All across the board, they all stood up.
And one of the good things that you pick up out of that, of course, is the confidence levels grew throughout the game. And that's probably displayed quite well with Carlin Anderson's performance, but specifically in things like his kicking game. He kicked 5 from 5 on the day, which probably gets lost a little bit. Again, a great try from from the Pandya boys. Richie backing up on the inside. When I saw it happening, I thought this is not going to be a try, but the way he came through there,
did very well to stay out.
And the PNG boys hung off a little bit. Again, a great try. If this had gone back on video replay to the ref, I suspect it might have been called back for the way the ball was played early on in the tackle. So
Wes Conlon wasn't happy about it, was he?
But that's the thing with rugby league. You can't stand back and put your hands up in the air and say, ref, let's look at this. You've got to play to the whistle.
And that's a try to Watson Boas, who was 19th man coming into the side there at the end. Showed great pace to get outside of the Jets wingers though, because they're always known for their speed.
Well, they are, and I did notice that it's one of those things that they needed to be strong on the outsides. I always thought we could actually match them in the middle. It was just that out wide we needed to make sure we could keep them there. Again, I think this one was a try. It was a knock on, and it looked pretty obvious on the day, I thought. But the reality is, I think that the Jets should be very happy. Again, held up over the line. It was probably disappointing in some respects. Sam did play a good game on the day. Oh,
fantastic. The forwards really stepped up, didn't they? And even without David Falalongo, that was a great performance from the Jets forward pack, really hitting the line hard, and good strong running from Billy McConaughey as well. Wayne Bennett, who turned out to watch the earlier games and left about halfway through this game, I believe, he would have been pretty happy with his Broncos contingent of Carlin Anderson and Billy McConaughey, though. Yeah,
Billy's starting to step up, runs the ball hard, runs it straight. Carlin, like I said earlier there, he's starting to hit form there, and then they get the ball out wide, and you've got other attacking weapons like Namani there.
Well, his kicking game was fantastic as we watch him kick the fifth goal for the day. He slotted 5 from 5, I believe.
Can I just point out one of the things we probably didn't get enough recognition is a fellow by the name of Chris Ash, who stepped up from the BRL side and led the side really well in one of the halves combinations with Dane Phillips. So that went really well, I thought. So he deserves a pat on the back.
It does. Well, we've actually got a post-game interview with Chris Ash. He was the captain of the Jets BRL side, and he stepped up for the day into the Intrust Super Cup and did a fantastic job.
Here with the Jets BRL captain Chris Ash, who stepped up into the Intrust Super Cup side and got a fantastic win with the PNG Hunters. What was it like to be part of it, mate?
It was outstanding. It was a really good win. I think the best win the boys have had this year. It was good fun to play.
Well, you're used to winning with the BRL side. It must mean even more to you to be in the Intrust Super Cup side and get a huge win over one of the competition leaders.
Mate, it's really good. Like, we've been winning well in BRL. It's good to bring some enthusiasm up, and the boys are so happy. So it's quality, good fun.
Well, there's plenty of bullet passes from you today. That was great to see. Yeah, definitely. Well, I know you made your debut last year against the PNG Hunters over in Port Moresby, and it was a bit of a tough game for you, so better result this time round?
Yeah, I got smacked up over there and played in the middle in hooker, so it's a little bit tougher in there, but today I was out on the edge, so I could get through a bit more work and got the win today too, so it was awesome.
And how much did the fans get behind you today? It was a big crowd here today. Made that all the more special?
Yeah, it was massive. It was good to have some people out to support, and it's a lot better playing in a big crowd, so they keep it coming, it'll be good.
Yeah. And were you impressed with your back line there with Wes Conlon and Carlin Anderson really stepping up?
Yeah, Wesley was massive. He's just a really smart footballer, and Carlin today did some really tough carries and some really tough work.
Yep.
It was cool.
And what do you think this message sends to the rest of the Intrust Super Cup as well? Knocking off one of the competition leaders shows you can take down anyone on your day.
Oh, that's it. The boys have still got confidence, and it shows we're still a good team. We just got to put it together now and get some wins on the run.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Chris.
All right, cheers. Have a good one.
They were riding high on confidence after that game, and it was a crowning achievement for Chris Ash as well, who was named the captain of the Ipswich Diggers side as well. So he's having a great year, isn't he?
This year with the Diggers side, as we've seen early in the season there, we had half Jets and half IRL, and Chris Ash, he was the first one picked in the side there, and the coach gave him the captain's job because he does a captain's job out on the field there. He's a good talker, directs them around, and he deserves all the accolades he's getting at the moment.
He's got a very level head on his shoulders as well. We also had a quick interview with one of the PNG Hunters players, Watson Boas, who scored the PNG Hunters' first try, I believe, in the runaway there.
Boas from the PNG Hunters, and Watson, what was it like to come in here and play against Ipswich?
Yeah, we're really excited to come and play here, but because of it's winter here, and because of the breeze, it's really cold here. Compared to Papua New Guinea, it's really hot, so we struggle a bit in the first half. Yeah. The second, at least we completed the game.
And what do you think of the Jets as well? They haven't been doing so well this season so far, but they showed plenty of skill today, didn't they?
Yeah, we expect them to come out with us because of last year's the semi-finals. They're really hard to us. They used to throw balls from one end to the other, so we expect much from them. So yeah, at least whatever the result, we accept it and we go back, work hard, and come back next year.
Well, you've been great this season so far. How's it feel to be part of a team that's just in such great form?
This is my first year, and yeah, I got a lot to learn, but at least this year I performed really well, and yeah, I'm really happy with my performance this year.
Are you looking forward to hosting Ipswich back over in Port Moresby now?
Yeah, we'll go back and train hard and wait for them to host the return match, and we'll try to beat them in our home turf.
Yep. And it's great to see a good fan support group come out and cheer you on today.
Yeah, we're really happy for the PNG communities here. They come along with numbers to support us, so we're really happy. Thank you for them also. Yeah.
Well, we enjoyed watching you play, mate. We'll let you go, but thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Cheers.
He was a very polite man to talk to after the game as well, but I don't think they would have been too happy to be knocked out of the top 4 by that performance.
No, they'll certainly go back. Michael Murram, their coach, will be looking at reasons of why they didn't perform. I heard Watson say that it was much cooler here than what they would have expected, and that's something they have to do as a travelling side. This is their 3rd year in the competition now, so yeah, look, I think they'll do okay from here on.
Definitely. Well, they've been going great for the first half of the competition, and if we have a look at the QRL ladder now, it doesn't make too much of a change for the Ipswich Jets, unfortunately still in the second half, but for the PNG Hunters that puts them down to 5th position. For the Jets that still keeps them in second last position, but with a bye in hand, they're actually looking a bit better than that would suggest.
Well, as you can look there, they have to try and catch 9th there, which is only on 12. That's only 2 wins away, but obviously that's a couple of wins. You have to get on a roll. The more games you lose, the more games obviously you have to win. So once you get on a roll, hopefully this sparks them on, and you never know. If you can, a few more weeks, they'll be up on the first graphic on their page, not the second one.
Let's hope so. Well, we can just ditch the second graphic from there, can't we?
Yeah, the usual ones are there. The Black Hawks are there, of course, on top. Very, very good side. Of course, they had Matt Bowen play
jump into the side. It looks like he's going to be playing out for the rest of the season for them as well.
Which is really good for our competition, so I think that's really exciting.
The Jets will see him in about 3 weeks' time.
Right. It's going to be a tough trip, that one.
It will be. Well, we had a fair bit of action from the IRL round 7 on the weekend as well, with some tight wins there, with Goodner getting the biscuit over over North there, but they didn't do it by too much at all, especially for a Goodner side that's been piling on the points recently.
Yeah, Goodner, obviously, they're top of the ladder there, and they've gone down. They've played North down there twice in the last 3 weeks and beaten them down there. And as you see, Fassifern there had another win over Brothers. That's 2 in a row, and Swifts went down to the kennel there and knocked the Bulldogs off. So I
thought that was a fascinating clash with Brothers and Fassifern as well. You had the coaches playing on the field, directing their troops from the field. That's a fair bit of responsibility for those 2 boys in Scotty Ireland and Jason Connors.
Yeah, well, both of them have had experience at higher levels, so must be a little bit hard out on the field there, trying to direct the traffic and look there. But I presume they've got assistant coaches that do a fantastic jobs with the subs and that for them. So,
well, we've got the IRL ladder up as well, where it looks like the Goodner Eagles are staying on top. Swifts not too far behind as well, and Fassifern finding a nice bit of form.
That's interesting. I don't know if you would have expected to see Brothers at the bottom of the table there again.
Or even North in the middle.
It's an interesting kind of table and competition this year for sure.
Well, we'll take a look at the games later in the program. Stay with us. We'll just be back for a quick break where we'll talk about the highs and the lows from the first game of State of Origin, and we'll preview the upcoming rounds of the QRL and the IRL. All that and more here on After the 80. Welcome back to After the 80, and Game 1 of State of Origin kicked off last night at ANZ Stadium in Sydney, and the Mighty Maroons proved too strong for the Blues with a 2-point win, going 6-4 up in Game 1. Now, boys, what did you think of that result? It was a tighter game than you thought it was going to be?
Oh, I think the first game's always one of those games they try each other. It's an arm wrestle, and it proved to be no different down there. I don't think the weather was conducive to throwing the ball around either. I think the statistics told us last night that those who win the first game generally go on to win the series. So that's why they're reluctant to do too much with the ball. But really, I think Queensland did enough to win. Their defence was outstanding. Bomber, I don't know. I mean, obviously the Blues, you had a couple of players I thought did okay. I think Robbie Farah, should I say it, I thought he played reasonably well, and his little kicks from dummy half went well, and Maloney I thought was pretty good as well.
Yeah, I think the halves, they're under the most pressure in New South Wales. You have a bad game, they tend to punch. But I thought both of them did a reasonable job there. Like you said, it wasn't conducive to a wide open flowing game like it probably will be up here on a drier track. And like I said, Queensland are 1 up now, so they can afford to throw the ball around, and I'm sure they'll be doing that at Suncorp.
Well, it was good to see Adam Reynolds. His kicking game was on point, though, wasn't it? Really something that they've kind of been missing in recent years, I think.
Like he's probably best kicker in the game. I didn't think he had one of his better games last night, but
just got a bit of footage coming up here now, which is
interesting.
points there.
It's interesting they took that 2 points. Again, I think there was a fair bit of discussion about whether they do that. This was a good kick.
Moylan almost had a moment to forget here, though. If he hadn't regathered it, that could have been a turning moment.
A couple of times last night there, Moylan didn't go in for the ball. Obviously being a debutant there, a little bit nervous on the stage, and obviously first try there. Was it forward?
I wouldn't think so. No, I'd probably.
I say no myself.
I think that was a fair try.
I think that was nice and flat. It was just a bit of Cronk pulling off a bit too much. He was back wheeling there in
This was a good
defence.
try, and in particular this last pass. I thought that was a beauty. You could see it coming on the television, which is fantastic. But I just didn't think they'd get the ball away quick enough, which was amazing.
Justin O'Neill, wasn't it, with the quick hands in the end
Yes.
there? Yep.
A Mansour went in. Again, Moylan dropping another one, putting more pressure. Again, this was interesting. I thought he might have done a little bit better of a job than that, Gagai, but...
Maloney went in for a little bit extra here as well.
Yeah, it's funny that since they've banned the punching rule, there's always a lot of grabbing and pushing. Lots of good hits, though.
And that was the last moment Michael Morgan played of the game as well.
Yeah, that was the end of it there. That probably hurt Queensland a bit too with the rotation. So it was probably a little bit better effort than from the Queenslanders there. So
Morgan's very important, particularly as that sub. I think that Queensland did miss him.
Yep.
And if he's in the second side, which he will be, of course, I think he'll shine there. Again, this one was very interesting. Shades of Philip Duke, as we all remember. They did say 82, but I'm not sure if that was 82 or not. I can't remember the year, but I certainly do remember it. So this one was interesting as well. Queensland aren't known for getting the 50-50 calls. So, and even Kevy Walters has come out this morning and said that we got our share, which is interesting. So
yeah, well, it was interesting because it did go up to the video ref as a try. So I wasn't sure if they were going to say that it wasn't enough evidence to overturn the decision, but they used the video ref to great effect. And I don't think a Blue supporter could be too upset to say that this one wasn't given.
Well, when I first saw it there, I didn't think he got it down. And then the more you look at it there, he might have got it near the line. It could have been a mill off and all that there. But in the end, I was happy that it was no try. Well, I wasn't happy, but I'm right with how the process went through. So
certainly one of the Channel 9 commentators wasn't very happy with it, can we say, and trying to work out how can that possibly be.
You can take a guess as to who that was.
Well, I'll let you guess who that is, but I think he's been proven wrong more often than he's been proven correct. The video referee, I think, has been a huge success. You can always pick out little bits and reasons why it's not successful, but I think in the total, I think it's been a tremendous success.
Well, the media might read a fair bit into Laurie Daly's post-game interview comments about the refereeing for the game, but I don't think there was too many controversies out of game one. It was just a hard-fought game between two teams.
No, I'm not quite sure what Laurie's playing at with these two refs. He doesn't want them in the next game there. I don't know whether he's just trying to deflect some of the attention away there, because as a Blue supporter myself there was nothing in it last night. If there was a couple of 50-50s either way there, but in most origins there's normally about 20 of them. Last night there was probably about 4 or 5 of them. So, but I think Laurie's just trying to get it away from his team there, his performance there. And
I'm not sure. I think you're right. I think the 50-50 calls were pretty good. But I'm not sure what the penalty count. It would have been fairly even, I think. I
ended up 4-4.
It was. I was going to say, I thought it must have been. At least they couldn't say it was 8-4 or something like that to Queensland, which would have was probably supported their argument a bit better. But 4-4, and as we saw in some of the replays, particularly a ball that was raked from, I think it was
Friday early.
It should have been a penalty, but look, those things happen, and the referees I think do a fantastic job. So I fully support everything they did. I thought Cameron Smith, of course, again played really, really well. Darius Boyd for Queensland.
It was an outstanding game for him, wasn't
it? When you either put Greg Inglis or him in the fullback position, you've got to wonder where's the best place for them. Greg was a little bit quiet, again, based on the type of game that was played. It wasn't thrown wide very often. But no doubt Darius Boyd was very, very strong in taking the ball back. I don't think he put a foot wrong in catching any that I can remember.
No, there was a few off O'Neill, I believe, but that was he did well under the high ball under an immense amount of pressure.
Yes. Some of our kicks in general play from Cooper Cronk into the corners, I don't think we used our big, tall wingers as much as we probably could have. Because that's something the Broncos do very well. But yeah, overall, I think that we'd be pretty happy. And Kevy Walters, certainly, just listening to him on the radio, I think he's pretty happy with the result.
Good to get one under the belt as well as a debutant coach at that level.
Very much. And that's how he'll be taking it as well.
Yeah.
But as you say, Laurie Daly, I don't know, Bomber. I don't know what he's playing at.
I would have thought there would have been a little bit more impact from the Blues bench, where there was a lot of talk about those big guys coming into the game, and they didn't seem to trouble Queensland too much through the middle.
No, some of them went all right. Like Feeder got on there and had a couple of big charges there, Clemmer and all that there, but just because you've got a big side, you haven't got a winning side. Like in Queensland with the Maguire, Josh Maguire there, he stood up. Papali come on, and Papali went just as good as some of the bigger fellas. So
definitely. So what's your plans for Game 2, guys? Up here in Brisbane, it'll be a different crowd, and hopefully that'll get Queensland home to a 2-0 start for us.
I think that Queensland will be very, very happy about playing the second game here. There is obviously a lot of talk about selling a game, whether that's the middle game or where that works in the series. I'm not quite sure in future, but I think that needs to happen too for the sake of the game, to expand it. But I think Queensland would be pretty happy going into Game 2 up here with one under their belt.
You'll be there, Bomber?
I'll be there.
Excellent.
I'll be there. Probably not cheering on. The crowd gets a little bit
rowdy.
A little bit rowdy up here there. So
maybe have a plain shirt underneath the Blues jersey if you need it.
Shirt on.
Excellent. Well, don't go away. After the break, we'll be previewing all the action to come this weekend in the Intrust Super Cup and the Ipswich Rugby League competition here on After the 80. Welcome back to After the 80. As always, we have a big weekend ahead with the round 13 of the Intrust Super Cup kicking off with the Seagulls taking on the Sunshine Coast Falcons, and we've also got the Burleigh Bears taking on the East Tigers. So a couple of great games there at the top of the table.
Yes, there is, but the one to watch, of course, will probably be Tweed Heads playing Ipswich Jets down at Piggerbean, which of course is the back of Tweed Heads there. Very, very difficult place to win. So I think that'll be certainly something to watch. Ipswich have to win that game.
Definitely.
Well, they win that game, they jump over the top of them, so it's 13th in the 12th or 11th. So
with a bye in hand as well.
That's correct.
Not looking too bad at all.
It will be tough. And of course the Hunters are playing the Northern Pride, a game which will be very tough. That's at home, so that's in front of 20,000 people. So the Northern Pride will have to go with their game, do well there. But of course Burleigh, as you say, against East. Burleigh have been playing really well this year.
And Townsville with Matty Bowen coming in there as well, taking on the North Devils. That should be another good game for him to get dust off the cobwebs a bit, I guess.
Yeah. Matty's one of those guys, I think, that's been around for so long. He knows exactly what he has to do to perform. So it's, again, great for a competition to have him in there.
It is. He must be loving his football to come back into the competition as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of those guys. It'd be good to see more of those NRL players who've achieved their 200, 300 NRL games to come back in.
David Falongo.
I was going to say David Falongo is loving his time at the Jets. He's loving living around their region here, and it's a little bit of pocket money for him, I think, is what it is compared to what he used to be on. But it's a good result for everybody.
We've also got some big games in the IRL competition this weekend with a grand final rematch between the North Tigers and Brothers Ipswich, two teams that haven't been performing too well in this year's competition. No,
the last couple of weeks there, Norths have lost the last couple at home, and obviously Brothers have lost their last 3 as well. So obviously, barring a draw, one of them is going to be back into the winning circle, and hopefully we can get one of the winning coaches on next week there.
I don't think Anthony O'Brien could deal with another drawed match.
No, he's had a couple of draws this year. So
yep. Had it stolen from his hands last week as well. Well, 2 weeks in a row, sorry, with the draw coming up on the Langer day for them, and then losing by 2 points the week after. He's going to be looking for a win.
They're not losing by much, but if you lose by 1 point, you don't get the points. So if you don't get the points, you don't move up the ladder, unfortunately.
And Swifts taking on Fassifern with 3rd and 4th. That'll be a great game.
Fassifern again hitting their straps. Got some great players out there. Sugar Ray's doing really, really well. So I think that they're in a good position. At home, I think Fassifern are probably one of the sides to beat. There's no doubt.
Definitely. Well, their wingers have been getting them home in recent weeks, so it'll be interesting to see how they go against the big pack of Swifts.
Yeah, well, I've watched Swifts the last couple of weeks. Their forwards have been their main go-to there. They've been ploughing through the middle there, but obviously Fassifern's. They're the opposite. They go out wide, out to Harold and obviously Ray. And Ray, 7 games, he scored 15 tries. So how do you stop him?
I don't know, but that's the task for the Swifts this weekend. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. I'd like to thank our guests for coming on board. Councillor Wayne Wendt, thanks for coming on board,
Thanks,
mate.
Bomber. Really loved it.
Excellent. And thanks for coming on board again, co-host Bomber Breeze.
No worries. Thank you, Ben, and make sure you get to your football this weekend.
Definitely. Plenty of action around the grounds. Thanks for tuning in again this week. I'm your host, Ben Wilmott, and from all of us here on After the 80, thanks for watching.